You or someone you know relying on a U.S. work permit, or maybe waiting on a green card or an asylum decision? Then you really need to hear this. As of late 2025, the rules have drastically changed. What used to keep thousands working while waiting is gone. If you don't know these updates now, you could face sudden job freezes or even lose eligibility without warning. So, stay with me because this video breaks down the newest official changes straight from USCIS, what they mean for you, and exactly what to do next to protect your status. Hello everyone, welcome back to again U.S. Embassy Updates, your go-to channel for trustworthy official source immigration news. And today we're laying out the biggest shifts incoming and current applicants must know, including work permits, asylum, family visas, and what's coming next. In late 2025, the U.S. federal government under the current administration rolled out sweeping changes meant to, tighten screening and increase security for immigrants. One of the most consequential changes came from the Department of Homeland Security and USCIS. The automatic extension of work permits has officially ended for most renewal applications filed on or after October 30th, 2025. Before this change, many non-citizens who applied to renew their employment authorization documents could continue working for up to 540 days, even after their printed card expired, provided they filed the renewal on time. Pansesiro, that buffer is now gone for most categories. According to DHS and USCIS, the removal of auto extensions is part of a broader shift toward more frequent vetting of non-citizens. A policy they say is necessary to strengthen national security and to ensure that employment authorizations are only granted after full review. Here's the verified breakdown of what the rule says. Now, as of October 30th, 2025, renewal applications for EADS, that's Form Y-65, filed on or after that date will no longer trigger the 540-day automatic work authorization extension. That means once your current EAD expires, you cannot continue working until your new EAD is approved and issued unless you qualify for a different valid status or authorization. Some categories remain unaffected for now STA. So certain individuals whose work authorization stems from statute or a specific DHS or federal register notice. For example, some temporary protected status beneficiaries may still receive extensions if the law or notice allows. For students under F1 on OPT or STEM OPT, this new rule does not change the existing 180-day automatic extension rule for timely filed STEM OPT extensions. USCIS and DHS publicly justified the move as a step to, enhance screening, deter fraud, and ensure that only those who have completed the full review process are authorized to work. So this isn't just about work permits. It actually reflects a broader, more security-focused approach by the government toward immigration in 2025. Officials have explicitly framed the end of automatic EAD extension as part of a trend toward more frequent vetting. Under this environment, renewals and new applications for work authorization will likely face stricter scrutiny. And backlogs may contribute to prolonged wait times, meaning that people whose EADs expire might find themselves unable to work for weeks or even months until their renewals are approved. Employers must adjust compliance procedures. They can no longer accept an expired EAD plus receipt notice as valid employment authorization. This policy shift is generally seen as part of a broader crackdown aimed at reducing unauthorized work and limiting immigration, while at the same time increasing enforcement and oversight. If you are in the United States on a visa or applying for one, or you depend on an EAD, this rule really demands you rethink your timing and strategy immediately. Here's what you should do. Renew early. USCIS recommends filing your EAD renewal up to 180 days before expiration. Don't assume automatic extension. If you file on or after October 30th, 2025, you'll need to wait for actual approval before you can keep working. Have a backup plan. If you lose work authorization due to delays, be ready for a possible employment gap. Consider alternative visa or status paths if you qualify, like an employer-sponsored visa, student visa, dependent status, and so on. Employers beware. HR departments must update I-9 verification procedures and should not accept expired EAD plus receipt notices for renewals filed after October 30th. For TPS, humanitarian, or other exceptional categories, check whether your category remains eligible for automatic extension under statute or regulatory notice. Some may still be covered. And for students on F1 OPT or STEM OPT, the rule doesn't apply to your 180-day extension, but you should still monitor USCIS updates to be safe. If you're watching and you fall into one of these groups, whether you're an EAD holder, an F1 student waiting for H-1B, an asylum applicant, an adjustment of status applicant, or maybe a spouse on a dependent visa, here's a practical checklist you'll want to follow. First, check your EAD expiration date. Do it now. If it's coming up in the next 6 to 9 months, you should start preparing your renewal paperwork as soon as possible. Gather all the required documents, including proof of eligibility, identity, and status. Make sure everything is complete before you file. File your renewal early. You can do so up to 180 days before expiration. So really, don't wait until the last moment. Keep copies of everything, receipts, forms, the full application. If there are delays, documentation showing you filed on time can really help. Also, have a backup employment or status option ready. This could include an employer-sponsored visa, a new visa category, dependent or spouse status, student visa, or another lawful immigration pathway. If you're an employer or sponsor, update your HR and immigration compliance procedures now. Rely on the old automatic extension buffer. And finally, stay informed of official updates from USCIS and DHS. Policy changes may continue and regulations can shift again. Looking ahead, experts and advocates expect a few likely trends. We're talking about more immigration policy adjustments. As the administration continues to emphasize security, vetting, and enforcement, there could be potential increases in denials or processing delays, especially for categories that previously relied on automatic EAD extensions. Expect renewed scrutiny on asylum and humanitarian-based applicants. Employers might become more cautious about hiring non-citizens, particularly if EAD approval becomes uncertain or delayed. For students and prospective immigrants, the need for strategic planning, like early application, backup options, and legal guidance, may be more important than ever. If this update affects you, don't wait. Review your status now. Check your EAD expiration date and file renewals early. Share this video with anyone you know who might be impacted. Friends, classmates, co-workers, and hey, subscribe to U.S. Immigration Information for ongoing verified coverage of immigration policy changes. If you want, leave a comment below with your visa type, and I can suggest some possible steps. Just remember, this is not legal advice, but general guidance. This video is purely formational. It's based on publicly available updates from USCIS and DHS as of late 2025. It is not legal advice. Immigration law is complex and constantly changing. If you are navigating a real case, you should consult a qualified immigration attorney or accredited representative for advice tailored to your situation.